Great to be here, Nick. I love the introduction. We sound fantastic. You got it. You got it. I'm always looking forward to this, Nick. Oh, one thing people might not know about Mark, I probably got a closet case of obsessive compulsive syndrome. I'm a bit of a neat freak, Nick. That's probably a bit, maybe that's oversharing for some, but that's certainly well, some that know me well would know, but I'll give you that. That's the one. Yeah, I had the pleasure of taking on the president role with a company called Go1. I've been in the HR tech space for 20 years. Just recently with SAP Success Factors, and Go1 was a company I saw a couple of years ago. It was part of some of the ecosystem work that I did, and straight away when I saw it, I could see a big problem solved that I'd seen for 20 years, and that is one of learning content. The ability to have the right development content when you need it has always been something that had all customers in all corners of the world struggle with. And a good old aggregator solution in that space was something that I just kicked myself and thought, why didn't I think of that? But I'm lucky enough now to take the role of president with them. The company is in great shape, and we've got some great plans ahead. So I'm really excited, and I cannot believe it. I remember talking to you when I first started. 3 months has gone by in a blink of an eye. That's all I can say. Yeah. Mm. It's all about the goal is all about listening and learning. Pardon the pun, but it is literally all listening and learning. One of the big things I find hard in that is just keeping my mouth shut. Is ask is listening. You're so enthusiastic and you want to learn and you want to get going as quickly as possible. But the trick in the first week, in the first I would say in the first couple of months is listening and learning. That's really the trick, and trying to curb your excitement. It's great to have an opportunity or take on any challenge in work and really be excited to get into it. Not just have to be there. So, first week was listening, learning. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And there's always, there's always, I always say there's always like kind of eight sides to a story as well. So, um, but you're right. It's very hard not to kind of jump in with your mindset and wanting to bring value from the minute you walk through the door. But yeah, uh, listening and learning brings a lot of value. In the essence, also, what I've noticed is you can make a different decision on a small amount of information and a completely opposite decision when you have the full picture. So, yeah, you got to learn from your scars as well, right? But yeah, always excitement in the first week as well, and people are excited to talk to you, and it's just an exciting time. Mm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and it's a really important point who you speak to. Of course, in a role like I got, of course, yeah, board time, executive time, etc., is a given. But I what I like to do is kind of get into the new office early. Even when you before you've got your security badge, kind of thing, and be that kind of new guy that wanders around, near the kitchen and stuff like that, and like, who's that guy in the corner with the laptop, kind of thing, because um, yeah, you don't come with an introduction, and people are themselves in an office like that, and obviously the people there are the people working hard and dealing with customers, right, and doing the job. Um, so that even again in that first week, being trying to get under the radar early as well, and just kind of walking around and just hearing folks and what people have got to say and what their problems are and things like that. You'd be amazed what they share with a new guy. Um, pretty quick. So that's an invaluable thing you can do in the first couple of weeks as well. But definitely get to the people doing the job as quickly as you can. Yeah, yeah. Mm, yeah. Well, I think for colleagues and people you're going to be working with is, I suppose, encapsulating, what's going well and what's not going so well. And there's a lot in just those two simple questions because and of course then keeping your mouth shut and listening, and then people will talk around what's going well and what's not, and those are kind of key points. um with customers, I come from the last couple of years in the chief customer officer role. The best question I ask them is, are you happy with what you're getting? That's the first question I ask. Are you happy with what you're getting? Are you getting value with what you're getting? And put on the spot as the first question, you tend to get the honest answer. Of course, there's a yes, but or there's a something. There's always an ongoing, value and service relationship with a provider and a customer. But gut reaction straight away with the person paying the check. Are you happy? That's a good start. And depending on the answer, where the next question goes, but that's normally a good start. Mm, absolutely. Yeah. 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 So look, Go1. One of the things I love about it is its simplicity in what it is. It is simply like iTunes, Spotify, Netflix for learning content, right? It's one subscription, all the content you need now and that you're going to want down the track as well, right? And in different formats and all those kind of things, right? So, to me, I love its simplicity of it in the essence of, I guess we've all, I'm sure everybody, listening to this will have, I don't know, played a track on their iTunes and it suggested another thing, or watched a horror movie on Netflix and it does a thing, right? And if you can explore your passions about what you want to be or what you want to do, and content can be readily dished through to you. Um, I think we've all been looking for that experience, maybe, to find stuff. I mean, that's so an aggregator model in the space, simple business. How do you get engaged with us? Look, right now we're heavily focused on our corporate space. That's where we're at. It's a young company. We've grown dramatically. We're now just, I think, at 2.8 billion in our valuation. It's probably gone up at six in the last 6 months. It's gone up about $1 billion. So it's certainly on the right track of that, and that value is just simply underpinned by that simplicity of the solution. But we're taking that to corporates, and how you can get involved in that is go and make sure your HR person is talking to Go1, and if not, I'm sure they can certainly contact us. But the underlying thing is it's going to be something that you can subscribe through work. But what we're hoping to do is fill those development needs that we've all experienced when we've had kind of skills reviews or jobs, and or even we just know what we want to be and what we want to do. It's going to give those corporations the environment to use Go1. And look, it's the kind of good thing is we're not a platform. We're an aggregator, a piece of software. We're that development need that fits in. So whether your organization's got Microsoft Teams, we're already integrated into that, and you can access it through that. Or whether you've got, like my old employer, SAP SuccessFactors, you name it, kind of the platforms we work with, and a lot of them are coming towards us now. Obviously, to they're very keen to integrate with us because. The simple thing is these platforms are what employees have access to at work already. But when they go to get that content piece, whether it's through the LMS or anything else, they often find there isn't that learning and development piece. But Go1 fits that hole. So they'll find it in all manner of their systems, whether it be Slack, Teams, or SAP or anything like that. And then they'll be able to access it, and then hopefully we will. The big purpose we've got is, we really kind of want to. What I like about it, I want to get people back to loving learning, Nick. I want us to be able to kind of really reach our ambitions. Bill McDermott used to say, like, winner's dream. I think he wrote a book about it. And I think learning helps you dream, helps you realize what's possible. So hopefully, we can grow a great business, and I think as the world changes with all this technology, we can help people access learning that means they can be whatever they want to be from wherever they're coming from and wherever they are in the world. So um, it's a good business to be involved in, nice and simple. So yeah, right now it's the corporate world. So if people are interested, you know we love an employee referral, of course. Yeah, yeah. Mm. Yeah, yeah. Mm. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. 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 It's no, no. Look, and it's funny. It's kind of both. You can do the corporate track learning and do that, and you can, and yeah, and you can follow your dreams, or also the organization can look at their company and go, we really got to upskill these people, and you know, we can move this skill set here into being graphic designers because we're going to need lots of graphic designers, right? So you can really build on your current talent. You can build on that knowledge base. So again, the organization, when it's looking to making sure it's having the right skills at the right places, it can feed that within the bounds of its commercial strategy as well. But you made a great point. I found as well. I found learning something that I had to do. Right, it was kind of that. But then I look at my young children, 7 and 9, and they love learning, right? Because they when they're taught by passion. So the teacher, when they're at that age, will try and relate the topic to an area that they will get passionate about. Um, and so it's really interesting to see the different attitude when they're passionate about it as to what I was like when it was just like, oh man, I got to get through this. So what I've noticed in the corporate side of things, and what we're is a is something that I tell your listeners as well, is that if you notice, we only ever get to compliance and health and safety learning kind of stuff when we're at work, because it's kind of needed to do the job. So you're right. What we need is people to kind of, you know, you got something like Go1, you can get to that compliance, but then you might just kind of flick the page again and keep going and suddenly do it. But you probably challenge everybody out there to kind of think, God, when did the last time I actually kind of looked at our learning system, seen what courses were available, and thought about what I want to do? Because I think we do have some customers that are really kind of desperate to get that learning culture back in place. So, yeah, I've learned from this as well. You've got to give something a go on that learning side of things, yeah, and follow your passions. But yeah, just get past compliance. Just get past the tick in the box. There's a whole big world out there. Mm. Yeah, yeah, mm, yeah, that's right. Yeah, 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 mm, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's 100%. And we know from, like, again, probably even what, the last 10, 15 years, money is not the top reason people move. They move because they feel they're listened to and invested in, right? And again, you invest in somebody with, we do things like playlists and things like that. So, again, you can follow a career track, or you can follow a subject matter as well that's already been kind of endorsed or done before. Again, just like you'd get the best records on Spotify or something, or things like that. So again, it's for us, it's really good. And we've got, I talked about the platform kind of partnerships as well, but the other thing to our model is, obviously, we've got great content partners. um, and again, taking this job, Nick, up, it's amazing the diversity of content and information out there, right? Valuable information, and credible, and what I like as well is, I love content in an audible fashion, right? I can't. Just reading a book is just the thought of it. Even I'm saying it to you now, I think, oh, it, but let me listen to something, like, while I go for a run or something like that. So we have content providers, that provide the whole thing in audible or audio, and things like that. So you can read, The Art of War in the book, or you can listen to it, on an audible thing with, like, Thor as the voiceover or something, right? So there's just a world of content out there, and it's really exciting, and to see all of that. Whether it's Harvard, or we partner with Skillsoft, we partner with all those big areas, like, because we want the best content in there, and those content providers want to access people as well. So the other good thing that you get in exploring that, is, yeah, there is a world of content out there in different formats as well. So there's something, certainly, consumable for anybody. So everybody's got the time, is where I was going with that, Nick. Everybody's got the time. I'm one of those people who never has time, but I go for a run every day, and I've started to do these audible books, and it's fantastic. So you can always kind of make time, right? It can be delivered to you in any way you want it, but you've just got to want to learn. 100%. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. 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 I think networks are key. I just think I find, um, it's just an access to information and understanding and knowledge, and things like that. So I just look at a kind of, community and these things, just as one big ability to kind of, make sense of it all, decide where you're going to do with things. That's So I look at it as a network, and I look to try and give value. And if you give value, people give you value back. And yeah, I've constantly been surprised over the years of, if you cultivate a good network of the opportunities that it brings you, the conversations you have, the people that you introduce to. Yeah, no, look, it's to me, it's kind of it's the underlying premise of business, is a solid network. And I think, now I'm a bit longer in the tooth, and so I have a network of kind of reasonable substance over the years. Um, it's extremely valuable, and on both ways. So community and networking, I think one and the same thing. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I think, we are lucky in this world of data that we have, right? That you can tell if something's being adopted, something's being utilized, and something's being used. So number one, that's your first point of call, right? Um, I think, there's all sorts of technological ways, surveys, etc., and things like that. But again, nothing. You just brought it up before. Nothing beats community, right? And so you can have the community of customers. I think it's kind of strange. I think historically people looked at it as a kind of them and us. We're the business, they're the customer. Like, it's two things. I kind of, certainly this world of subscription that I've learned over the last 3 years in software subscription businesses and things like that. The true value is above and beyond the sale. It's the ongoing kind of customer community that you have, and speaking to them, face-to-face events, all sorts of different things. But I think it's speaking to them and making sure your organization is speaking to them as well. Different Consistently getting people together as groups. Could be the engineers with the customers. It could be sales and all sorts of different things like that. But actually, just bring the customer into your business. We're all customers. If somebody asked me what I thought, if Tim Cook was ever going to ask me what I thought about Apple, which I don't think that's going to happen, but if he would, I've got a couple of things he could improve on. I've got a couple of things that he could look at. So, um, I think, use all the tools, do all that, but again, make sure your organization is talking to the customer, and your customer, and you do that proactively through different communications, and yeah, let's not lose sight of the fact of getting together physically, round tables, those kind of things. But you know that's the main thing. Again, it kind of does come full circle to the start where I said to you, what I do in the first week, which is kind of listen and learn. um, it's kind of what you got to do with your customers. Just keep listening and learning. Make sure your product meets what they want rather than going crazy. That's really it, Nick. That's kind of it. I think it's less about a technique. I think it's more about an attitude. Um, and as a leader, if you purvey that attitude from the start, um, I think, naturally that is picked up as the main driver, and so you start to see that attitude come out in the company's actions and things like that. And if not, that's what you've got to work towards. So, I'm happy to say it's very living and breathing in the company I'm at. But yeah, comes back to, as we started, listening. And you said it, and somebody else said it that to me. If you're talking, you're not learning, right? So, um, as hard as it is, and I know it is hard, but yeah, listening and learning to your customers, listening and learning on all matters is the main thing. Yeah, they do often say, don't they? The wisest person in the room is the quietest. So, yeah, that's the way forward, Nick. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Ooh, best experience recently. Let me think. Um, the best experience recently. Wow. Um, I would. Do you know what? I would say. Right here we go. I would say our local coffee shop is where I'm going to go with this. I know it's out, but just always with a greeting, with a smile. Always knows your order. I know it's a little thing, but that always gets me. Loves their job, loves what they do, right? And that comes across. And it would be remiss of me, of course, not to mention your book. Of course, I it's good. I think, as you said before, people's passions come out in what they do, um, and there's good knowledge in it, right? So it's it's a good book, and you've got to do it on Audible, in my opinion. Yeah, 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 100%. Yeah, 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 yeah. I like. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. What would it say? It would say, finally, the problem is solved. We have all the content you need now or in the future. One subscription. Give us a call. That's what I would say, because we're really, changing the game out there for them. So I would be bold enough to put that out there and be comfortable to bring them value back. Good old, anyway, usual ways, website, all those digital footprints that we've got, they can get us in any of those things. And yeah, go give your L&D manager or your HR director a little nudge and say, help us learn. Give Go1 a call. I can't wait. It's been great catching up with you, Nick. And yeah, let's do it again soon.